The temperature on the streets of Winnipeg tonight is around -25, and that's not counting the wind chill. But it's nice and warm, and it will be hot tonight inside the MTS Center. The Jets have 32 games remaining in their regular season to make the dream of making the playoffs a reality. And 2 important points against a divisional rival are on the line tonight, the Dallas Stars. Starting netminders down at the Dallas end, you got Kari Lehtonen. This is their 49th game of the season. He has started 42 of them, and he is making his 5th consecutive start for Dallas tonight. Down at the other end, the rookie who does not get much talk in the Calder Trophy discussion, but he probably should be, making back-to-back starts, is Michael Hutchinson, the 24-year-old from Barrie. The referees tonight are Dave Jackson and Kevin Pollock. Shane Heyer and Matt McPherson are your linesmen. Paul Maurice is going to start a line that he put together just this week. Adam Lowry centering Evander Kane and Chris Thorburn. For the Dallas Stars, the Pitbull line. Cody Eakin, Ryan Garbage, both from Winnipeg, along with Antoine Roussel. And the Jets control up the opening face-off and send it into the Stars' end. Letting it out of his net to handle it. And Dallas comes away to their blue line. Cross-ice backhand feed knocked down by Jacob Trouba, who is playing his 100th career game tonight. Kane lost his stick as to peel back for it while John Klingberg rushes the puck, and then he is rocked by Mark Stewart. First big hit of the game. Cody Eakin towards the net, tipped right on by Roussel. Takes a couple of whacks, and Trouba did not like that, and neither did Lowry, and that's going to draw a crowd.
The one thing you know is coming when you start getting into the grill of Hutchinson is you're going to see a lot of blue sweaters, and all the guys on the ice are more than willing combatants, and Roussel knows that. A couple of whacks on the pads, he knows he's going to draw the attention. And what a hit by Stewart along the wall on Klingberg. He likes to rush the puck, he comes in the zone, he drops it with his head down, and that's exactly what you want to do to him. This is a guy who likes to roam around the ice and make offensive things happen for the Dallas Stars. Punish him if he wants to come into your zone. And there's the reaction. Once the whack on Hutchinson's pads, 3 blue sweaters all over him.
Roussel, who is no stranger to that type of play, is their leading penalty minute guy. He leads them in fights as well.
It's the kind of reaction you want to see if you're Paul Maurice. That's exactly the, not over the top, but enough to give him a warning. I think Lindy Ruff's upset because 2 or 3 guys were all over him. He wanted to see maybe an extra penalty for Winnipeg. But the referee says probably if you haven't started whacking at his pads when you shouldn't have been, you wouldn't have had 3 guys all over you.
Thorburn and Roussel both in the box for 2 each.
Well, Winnipeg was kind of chirping off the bench when this happened. A little chip into the zone, and in comes the speed of Kane, and the stick gets pulled right out of his hands. It's a tough enough game as it is. To play with no stick makes it a little harder.
Yeah. So 4-on-4 here, the opening minutes of this first period in Winnipeg, and David Schlemko forced back to get that for the Stars. Here comes Tyler Seguin over the line, takes a shot that is scooped up by Hutchinson, and the first shot of the game for a guy who says he's going to shoot a lot more because he's doing a lot of this lately, Gary.
Well, Tyler Seguin knows how to find the net, but sometimes you're just a little bit off, and it doesn't frustrate you because you know you're getting these kind of looks. But you got to hope at some point these posts are going to start moving themselves into the net, and you can't get frustrated. He's one guy he knows just keep shooting pucks. He had 9 shots in the game against Boston. In the last 2 games, he's only had 3. He's got to shoot more.
Says that has never happened to him at any point in his hockey career. 4 straight games with a post right on, as you can hear from that collection of replays. That one is sent in. Letting it juggle it for a moment, but kicks it into the corner. And here is the captain. Jamie Benn goes into the middle. Schlemko jumps up in the play. Going across now. That's just under the reach of Trevor Daley. Back come the Jets. Jets have 7 4-on-4 goals this season. And there's a snapshot and a rebound, and Lehtonen got a piece of that on the captain lag. 7 4-on-4 goals for the Jets. That is tied for 2nd in the NHL. Spezza with a drive. Hutchinson stopped it, and the rebound is taken away there by Zach Bogosian. Bank pass too hard for Wheeler out the other side and swept away by Lehtonen. Moved across to Ben Sherratt. Sherratt moves it in for Wheeler. His backhand. Stopped by Lehtonen. He's on the loose puck and pushed it all the way out to the point and beyond. Mark Scheifele now takes the feed, puts it in front. Wheeler stopped by Lettinen. Rebound is controlled by the veteran netminder, and he hangs on. What a rush and a great chance for the Jets.
The one thing you mentioned, Dave, is the fact that Winnipeg is so good 4-on-4. Flip the coin. Dallas, not so much. A -6 goal differential 4-on-4. It's been a problem for them all year. Look at them backing in. You're backing into the hash marks of your zone. You're going to give great opportunities. And then Wheeler right down Main Street tries to backhand and get that just above the pad of Lettinen, who's made a couple of really good saves here early in this first period. Winnipeg, they're north-south. They drive extremely hard, and with all that extra ice on the 4-on-4 and those big bodies, they are really hard to contain when they start heading towards your cage.
Vernon Fiddler settles in to take this draw against Matthew Perreault, who the last time he played in here, he scored 4 goals against the Florida Panthers in an 8-goal romp for the Jets, but then he got injured. Back in the lineup post All-Star break. And Fiddler is waved into the circle. He'll be replaced by Colton Sevier from Red Deer, Alberta. Here's Jordy Benn. Older brother of Jamie. Back pass up to Fiddler. Tapped into the Jet zone. Sevier first to the puck. Perreault takes it away from him. Gets it to Kane. Tries to bank it around Benn. And the crowd wanted an interference call. Not going to get it. Quickly turned back the other way. Fiddler ran out of room and puts it into the corner where it's picked up by Toby Enstrom. Enstrom now back partnered with Dustin Byfuglien, who's been playing primarily with Ben Sherratt lately.
They're trying to manage the minutes a little bit better. I think that's the biggest problem with Sherratt and Byfuglien here. You don't want Sherratt playing those kind of minutes.
Roussel out of the box. All the way around the net, then he banks it back in there behind the goal. It's met by Eakin. Wraparound out in front. There's the shot by Sevier, and he just missed. Hutchinson scrambles back into position. Cody Eakin now. Byfuglien in the corner. Finds it. Stewart to the near side, and that's put to center ice. Here comes Ryan Garbutt. Garbutt now stops up. He'll take a shot that hit the side of the net. On the sideboards, here's Roussel again. Cody Eakin on his backhand, walks out, gets the shot, and Hutchinson down, makes the save. TJ Gagliardi back in the Jets lineup. He's on this rush for Slater, goes to the net, and that's poked aside by Lettinen. And Sherratt just one beat too late. That is offside.
Teams know in this building the Winnipeg Jets want to jump all over you. Done a great job this year of jumping on teams in the first period. Dallas gives them a little bit of their own medicine here as they get in on the forecheck extremely hard and they start taking over the puck possession in the zone. It's been a struggle for Winnipeg in the last 2 games, allowing 10 goals, and it's the one thing that they really have improved on, and they didn't miss by much. Sevier right there on the short side. Eakin's line does a great job of getting in and rattling all around the Winnipeg end. 10 goals against is not something you want to have in 2 games.
Here comes Jamie Benn. Puts it in front, trying to find Seguin, and his stick was tied up by Byfuglien. Andrew Ladd back out there with Wheeler and Little. This big line has been pointless the last 2 games since being on fire going into the All-Star break. The Jets had won 5 in a row and had points in 7 games, but now they've lost 2 straight and given up 10 goals in the process. In front for Seguin, ran out of room, so he curls back, throws it in front for Ben, one-timer, and he misfired. He's got it again, back for Seguin. Little move in traffic. And here is Wheeler now. Jason Demers, recently acquired from the San Jose Sharks back in November in a deal that sent Brendan Dillon the other way. Here's Bogosian, hard up the boards. Michael Frolik beats it and gets it away. Scheifele now, he's got Perreault with him. Fouls up and in. Scheifele works against Jordy Benn, and it's taken away by Dallas. Sevier, back and forth. This game's got great pace in the opening 5 minutes. Here's Travis Mullen, the former Montreal Canadian. Alashevsky now joins the battle in the corner. And we've got a penalty call. It's going to be interference against Ben Sherratt.
Tell you what, Perreault was lucky that the person that was coming into the zone full speed was Ales Hemsky, because if it had been Roussel, he would have taken his head off. Look at his head down right there, and Hemsky doesn't finish his check. And there you see the interference penalty on Sherrod out of the corner. And a puck in your skates is as good as any puck for a good player. Ben turns that into a puck that goes right from his skate to his stick, right to Seguin, and the return favor, but the misfire on the one-timer. These two guys know exactly where they're going and where each other is, and that's why the two of them have been so productive together.
Jason Spezza wins the draw. John Klingberg reels it into the back end. He's got it again. A good-looking 22-year-old rookie defenseman. Klingberg. And for Seguin, his drive, Hutchinson, one save and the rebound hammered home by Patrick Eaves. A power play goal for Dallas. They strike first, and it's 1-0 Stars.
Patrick Eaves, the recipient of some good play and then just being right in the right place at the right time. And what confidence does Lindy Ruff have in Patrick Eaves to have him out here on the #1 power play? Good walk by Klingberg to the middle. He gets the Winnipeg Jets to kind of get to a stagnant position. Now the puck starts moving around. It's a 1-3-1. You got the high slot Eaves. He's going to be patient as this one hits and bangs around. He locates it and then picks his head up, picks a spot, and then buries it. That guy in that slot of that 1-3-1, he's got to be ready for a one-timer. He's got to be ready to redirect the puck, and he's got to be ready to locate pucks that are bouncing around like that one was. Good job by Dallas for striking early. Their power play has not been great, but of late it has been starting to pick up.
That goal coming just 15 seconds into the power play. Patrick Eaves with his 5th of the year. He missed 21 games with a broken bone in his foot. Just got back this week, and he's put right back on that top line where he was prior to the injury. 1-0 Dallas. Just over 5 minutes into the first period. Ruff goes right back to this aggressive line of Garvin and Eaves and Roussel. And Roussel puts that to the open corner, but it was offside on its way in.
Well, they're ranked 29th in the league in penalties taken. They've taken way more than they should. They've had 334 minutes they've been shorthanded when most teams are around the 180 to 270 mark. And Paul Maurice has said many a times he wants his team to play hard. He doesn't mind taking penalties from hard play. It's some of the stick violations and some of the offensive zone penalties he'd like to see his team avoid. But still, I think if you want to be a playoff team, you try your best not to be sitting in that box as much as they have. And I think if you really wanted to be honest, he'd want his team to be taking less penalties right now.
Well, he has recently also said that he's tired of talking about it. He spends a lot of time talking about it. He says this is now part of who we are. It's a bit of our identity, but I agree that he probably wants to get rid of the stick infractions and the avoidable ones.
Out of 11 goals you've given up in the past 3 games, 4 of them have come on the power play against you. So when your penalty killing is firing on all cylinders and you're killing them all off, it's great. But right now, it's not happening.
Dallas's special teams aren't great. Look out, here's a chance developing almost there for the Jets. Not great special teams for the Stars. However, they scored 2 power play goals and 2 shorthanded goals in their last game against the Senators on Thursday.
Well, these two teams have 13 shorthanded goals between the two of them. Dallas with 6 and Winnipeg with 7, so be careful when you're on the power play tonight.
Matthew Perreault goes cross ice. There is Michael Foley. And a penalty call coming up now against the Dallas Stars. So the Winnipeg Jets will get a power play. When we come back, you are watching Dallas and Winnipeg on Hockey Night in Canada.
Let's go back to the second period. Montreal Tuesday night. Jason Spezza drilled into the boards by Alex Emelin and wound up with a broken nose, badly broken. The doctor needed 2 attempts to twist Spezza's nose back into place. He said this morning it was right up there with the worst pain he's ever felt. So there's Spezza with his hockey makeup on, a couple of stitches with 2 black eyes and wearing a full shield. He's supposed to wear, he says, for a few weeks. And he says it's very uncomfortable, prone to fogging up, Dave.
And yet there he was 2 nights later in the return game for him in Ottawa, an emotional night. Jets power play as Hemsky goes to the box.
If you've ever had your nose broken, I'll tell you, it is one painful thing. I remember having someone fell on my head and split my nose, and they start shoving things up there and straightening it out, and it makes you cry. And he was telling me it was a real uncomfortable feeling, and I said, I hear you, man, I've been there.
Slashing was the call against Hemsky. First power play chance here for the Jets. Trying to answer back the power play goal scored by Dallas very early. Bufflin Matthew Perreault back to Dustin Byfuglien, winds, and that is blocked by Vernon Fiddler. Here's Perreault into the corner for Dustin Byfuglien. Gets it away to Wheeler. Wheeler comes around, tees it up for Ladd, and he misfired there. Quickly across to Little. Steps into the zone, drops it off for Wheeler. Wheeler being watched by Garbage. Banks it off the board. Waiting for it here is Byfuglien. Byfuglien goes across to the opposite point where Perreault is, and he turns it over to Ryan Garbage. And Perreault gets it back. Now Wheeler with some room to step up. Ladd bouncing puck, fluttering around, and it goes past the open side of the net. Here's Little. That pass misconnects and ends up at center ice. Now there's a turnover right under the stick of Garvin. Wine shoots. Big stop there by Hutchinson. Demers back towards the net. Look out. Garvin with time. And getting the stick in the lane there was Andrew Ladd on what turned into a mess.
13 short-handed goals. I mentioned they have 6 of them, and there's the reason why. They can turn it quick. You got to be brave to step in front of Dustin Byfuglien slapper, and he walks right into this, and the sideways turn by Fiddler. And I'll tell you what, he was feeling that for sure. Watch him turn the head sideways. You want to get your face out of it in case it's a high riser. But I got to tell you guys out there wanting to block shots, there isn't as much padding on the back of you than there is on the front. So when you turn like that, you get that in the ribcage. Some adjustments for Paul Maurice. No Enstrom on that first unit because it's done so well with Perreault. But there it shows you what can go wrong when you have a forward on that backside. A couple of turnovers.
That's the risk you run, but Enstrom is back out there along with Trouba for this final minute now final 20 seconds. Trouba with a blast and a save by Lessinen. Here's Enstrom stepping up. Kobe Enstrom trying to get it down low. That's broken up by Daly, who shovels this one to the line. Not out. Scheifele keeps it in there. Final seconds of the Jets power play. Dug free by Kane to the line. Nice job by Trouba to keep it in, but he's not going to be able to get it deep, and Ben will do the rest of the job. That is it for the power play. One shot on net for Winnipeg. Now Chris Thorburn stepping in. Thorburn, who's had a very hot stick of late, scoring a bunch of goals, 3 in his last 5 games. That shot, however, deflected up and out of play.
A lot of people saying the game of Evander Kane has really taken off, and he's been productive. He's been scoring some goals, but that's not really quite why he's getting all the accolades from his teammates and his coach. I mean, it's great that he is putting pucks in the net, 4 goals, 5 assists in his last 10 games, but it's the way he's playing and how he's helping his line mates. Moving them onto that third line really makes the opponent have to spread their team out to check all 3 lines. He's done a great job with Thorburn and Lowry on that line. Gets on the puck so fast. Forecheck. He likes to play the physical game.
Kind of fits the mold of that line, though, don't you think? A guy who bang and crash, and he's certainly got some high-end finish.
Well, you want your player to understand why you're putting him there. Like, you know, he's a guy that certainly, and you look at the numbers, and a struggle at some points, and everyone was asking for more from Evander Kane, and I think, you know, maybe this young guy is starting to figure it out now. It's not who you play with or what line you play on, but make the most of where you're playing and do what has to be done. There's a lot of guys that want to play on the top line or the top power play or whatever, but when you're on the ice, make it happen, and I think that's what he's doing. He sees this Winnipeg team. He likes the way that they're playing. He thinks this team can do some damage, and he wants to be a part of it, and he's had a couple of injuries this year in a suspension that has really gotten away, but of late, he's really picked up his game.
Jets working to center, then fire that puck in. Around the boards it goes. Jordy Ben leans on his man, and they work it back up the right wing side. Eaves can't get it out. Back to the line for Enstrom. Enstrom goes across to Byfuglien. Byfuglien, his shot redirects towards Enstrom, who keeps it in. Wheeler moves it around the boards. There is Demers in the corner there. He's contending with Little, who goes back to Wheeler. Wheeler with a shot, and that is blocked right in front by Ben. Ladd aggressively there, the forecheck, but the Dallas Stars trying to go up high along the boards. Not going to get it out. Now they're going to get a chance as everybody completes the change. Michael Hutchinson. Paul Maurice usually likes to go the rotation between he and Andre Pavlik, but he's getting the back-to-back start tonight. Here comes Frolik. Frolik in there, trying to center it, and it's broken up. Nice sliding play there by Goligoski. Here's Stewart. Stewart's shot is stopped by Lettman. Pushes that one into the corner. Scheifele now. Strong in the puck against Klingberg. Gets it to Frolik. His backhander goes right across the goal mouth. Now shot Horkov as the Stars are under siege here. Good hard hit there by Scheifele. Dallas changes after a good hard shift by the Winnipeg Jets, who find themselves down by 1 at the MTS Center on Hockey Night in Canada on City.
Well, in the Sea of Blue at MTS Center, there is some support for the Dallas Stars. There's Myrna, mother of Cody Eakin. Cody grew up in Winnipeg, playing his minor hockey in Fort Garry. Gord and Karen Garbutt here tonight. Gord played in the Western League with Lindy Ruff, and the Garbutts moved here when Ryan was 13. They moved from Edmonton. He went on to start with the Winnipeg South Blues. These two can thank each other for their superior conditioning. They're off-season training partners, highly competitive with each other. Garbutt says he sets the standard in the gym, but admits Eakin gets him on the ice. And now here they are on the Stars pit bull line, where all of their off-season work pays off because they are relentless. Very difficult to play against, Dave.
Well, we've seen that already tonight, and we'll see more of it as the game goes on. Patrick Eaves, number 18, he's got the lone goal of the game. Seguin moves it across the blue line. In towards the net, that goes off of skates in behind the goal, and down to the corner for Seguin.
Both players smart enough to tell their parents, don't wear Dallas Stars sweaters in this crowd.
Right. Daly with a drive through traffic, and that's a good tracking save by Michael Hutchinson.
And the great thing about those two kids, and a bit of a history on those two kids, is we watch Michael Hutchinson make the save through traffic. And Kelly Rudy talked about this. There's a lot of goaltenders that get shots from the slot area and through traffic. Who stops them? And Michael Hutchinson's done a good job. Both these players' fathers played with Lindy Bruff in the Western Hockey League in Lethbridge. Of course, Garbutt's father was a goaltender, and Cody Eakin's father as well on that team. And I asked Lindy, so, do they have some similarities? And he goes, listen, I was a young kid, man. I got there, I kept my mouth shut, I went about my business, and I didn't say too much. But he said certainly remembers both of them, and it's been a pleasure to have both their kids on his team. They're both hard-working kids.
It's amazing how small the hockey world is. Garbutt and Eaves, two guys that took different routes to get to the NHL. Eakin, rather. Eakin was a draft pick. Garbutt was not. He went the collegiate route through Brown. There's Lettman wandering way into his net. That goes into the corner. Man, Goligoski lets it get past him. Off for John Klingberg. Here comes Cody Eakin to center. Stepping in over the line. He can try to make a move to the inside of Bogosian. And he gets the puck right back to Roussel. Back towards the net. Tipped by Garbutt. Loose. Saved by Hutchinson. And the rebound goes in behind the net. Look at this line go to work. Roussel buzzing around. Here's Klingberg now trying to keep it in against Lowry. Back to the line. Goligoski winds and fires, and that goes off the boards. And Michael Hutchinson gets a much-needed whistle against the Pitbulls.
There's going to be a penalty here, I believe, on Zach Bogosian, and he just broke his blade on Eakins. This line has been a handful from the start of the game. You're talking about three guys who never turn away from you. They're going to run right through you. They're going to dog every single puck, and two of them are playing in front of their parents in their hometown. You know that they are wired and ready to go. And there's Roussel, who's the king at upsetting everybody. And he's the guy, when you hear that comment, when you go, it's never the guy who starts it, it's always the retaliator who gets caught. Roussel is the guy who starts it 99% of the time, but he only gets caught about half that. Normally, it's the other guy who's taking that kind of whack on him, and Zach Bogosian snaps the blade of his stick right over the shin pad. Once the blade went flying into the air, no chance you're going to get away with that.
Second power play opportunity for the Stars tonight. 4 for 10 in their last 3 road games coming in, but they're 1 for 1 tonight. They scored 15 seconds into their first man advantage. And Ladd's going to go for a bit of a skate. Now he's turned it over. Ben is going to swoop in, takes a shot that's deflected on the way by. Jason Spezza up there in the corner, and it comes free and sent down there by Brian Little.
You always wonder when you look at the firepower on the Dallas Stars and the fact they're 5th in the league in scoring. It's hard to believe that their power play just hasn't been really good all year. It's just been kind of getting hot of late.
Klingberg skated that all the way up, and now it's sent all the way down.
You look
45 seconds to go in the main event.
You look at specialty teams have been a struggle. You look at their defensive zone coverage, their goals against have been a struggle. I mean, those things alone, and the fact that, again, in the Central League, they've struggled in their own division. Those three things are just not going all together and not going to help you make the playoffs.
More speed coming up the ice. This is Hemsky. Drops it off for Sevier. Sevier throws it out in front looking for Horkoff, and he couldn't get a shot away. 45 seconds to go in the man advantage. Edstrom to Frolik to Slater, and they're away to center. Slater chips it around and kills some more clock. Here is Demers now. Trevor Daley, already a career high for him, 12 goals. Tied for second in the NHL amongst defensemen. His previous career high was 9 goals last season.
The other guy's right across from him, Dustin Buffler. Between the two of them, 24. And both these teams like to activate their D. 27 goals from the backside for Winnipeg, 25 from the backside for Dallas. 52 goals on the backside in this game alone.
Tune into music's biggest night, the 57th Annual Grammy Awards. Sunday, February 8th at 8 Eastern and Pacific. That'd be 5 on City.
3-9-5. That's their record in the Central Division for the Dallas Stars. And the one thing you got to do is you've got to have a good record in your division. It just helps you get into the playoffs right there. And down the stretch, you'll have to be much better.
Klingberg takes a look. Team's back at even strength, so Dallas 1 for 2 with a man advantage. 14 minutes gone in the first. Patrick Eaves has the lone goal for Dallas. Play is whistled down. We'll take a break from chilly Winnipeg. 1-0 Stars.
Mentioned the division collision in the Central Division, and you look at Nashville and Chicago, St. Louis, Winnipeg, all winning records against their own and find themselves in good position. Dallas not so good. And in the break here, as they went to break, Paul Maurice was not a happy coach. And look at this reverse back check against the glass. This went on and is still going on as he just keeps hitting this glass. This is him trying to keep his cool and not lose his temper and lose his hockey club. But he is not happy. You've just lost 2 games. You're at home. You've got a 6-point lead holding the point. That's not a lot. And you're playing a lot of it in your end and sloppy at that.
King outshot 10-5 so far tonight. Down just 1. And Dallas right back to work in the offensive zone. Bagging and crashing and Bowen. And Fiddler's up there as well. Gagliardi gets it away to Slater. Slater down the right side. Drops it off for TJ Gagliardi. A snapshot, big rebound, but the Stars are right there to push it out. Here's Bufflin. Banks it back to Enstrom. His 10th game back after a long stretch into the lineup. And it's sent in hard by Bufflin. Then by Enstrom again. In back of the net is Jordy Benn. He's hit hard by Thorburn. But Spencer's there for Dallas. Lowry tries to keep the puck moving, and he does to Thorburn. Lowry chips it up, looking for Kane, who's pinned along the side boards, but comes away with it, and they'll reset. Right onto the tape of Evander Kane, who's going to head up north. Kane towards the net, into the corner, leading it to Thorburn. He is hit hard. Big collision between he and Jordy Benn. Pass all the way down the ice, gets past Thorburn, try to break it up, and Trouba's back to get it.
Hemsky just was annihilated by Sherratt down in the corner to the right of Letna. He went off the ice gingerly. Sherratt was coming down for the harder round, and when Hemsky decided to play it, it was his all body.
Klingberg with a great pass into the middle for Benn. He's got Sagan on his backhand, turns towards the net, and the tip by Benn didn't click. Boy, Klingberg can move that puck, can't he?
There's a number of young defensemen in this game that just play older than their age, and one of them is you're looking at in Klingberg, and the Winnipeg Jets have one of their own, Jacob Trouba.
Patrick Eaves saw that hit coming, so he gets it in there, and they'll complete a change. Trouba hit by Roussel, or rather Roussel ended up getting hit by Trouba, who saw that coming. Schlemko, recent waiver wire acquisition for the Stars, picked up from Arizona earlier this month. Here's Daly. He'll go across to his new partner, Schlemko.
Great hockey name. It's perfect.
From Edmonton, 7th year in the league, first in Big D. Here comes Little, stepping it over the line with Wheeler heading for the front of the net. Here's Engstrom now on the backside, throws it out in front. Wheeler, one chance, another centers. Wheeler is down, and Little took a crack at it as well, and nobody can solve Ledman. Centering pass into the middle. That is broken up. And now here comes Kane, and he's got help. Kane, Thorburn, back, Lowry, stopped by Ledman. What a save by Kari Ledman on a great-looking rush by the Jets. Back they come. Here's Dallas now. Sevier with a wrist shot, and Hutchinson has that. And he will hang on for the face-off.
When you have the puck, you have to do something constructive with it. If you throw it blind into the middle, watch Ryan Garbutt right here. Backhand into the middle, you trap 3 guys, 4 a matter of fact, and it's going the other way. Instead of a puck going to their net, it's almost in the back of yours as Lowry comes down, and what a great heads-up play by Thorburn as we look at the Sherrod hit on Hemsky. All body, all down. Good solid hit.
Winnipeg controls off the draw of their own end. They'll work it up the boards and try to get it up there again. Perona's backhand had it knocked down. Stewart chips that one in there. Alagowski is back for it. Frolik with some quick stick work to keep it in. Now he's got the puck. Here's Frolik now. On his backhand, turns and fires it towards the net into the skates. And Dallas sends it out. Back up to Michael Frolik. He'll take a shot, stopped by Ledman, rebound into the corner. Here's Scheifele now. Gets it back to Trouba. Jacob Trouba towards Ledman. Off his stick into the glass. Klingberg giving a hard hit there by Scheifele, who's laid a couple of hits in this period.
Well, they've had a couple of goalies shut them down in the last little while, Dallas has, and tonight Winnipeg may be looking at one here in Ledman.
Kane into the middle, was looking for Thorburn, too much traffic. And that is offside. 1:20 to go in the period.
Ledman's made some really good saves and a couple in the last shifts as he's 4-1-1 in his 6 career games versus Winnipeg with a 195 goals against average and a 944 save percentage. So he's in the zone against the Jets here. And he looks really big in the net. Look at him standing tall. He goes down a bit early here, but he's tracked the puck well, comes across. He has been sharp for the Dallas Stars when they've needed him here.
Little up there, Ladd following up. Daly trying to work it back up the boards. Eaves is there as well. And they do clear it down. Hutchinson will leave it for Dustin Byfuglien in the final minute now of the first period. It's been an excellent road period for Dallas. Wrapping up a 3-game Canadian road trip that saw them go to Ottawa and Montreal. Lost them both. There's a big hit along the sideboards, or rather they won in Ottawa, lost in Montreal. They have lost a couple of games they really felt they deserved better. And they're off to a good start here tonight.
They mentioned they thought they ran into a couple of hot goaltenders, and I guess you couldn't argue with Carey Price the way he's pitching shutouts left and right. And I agree with PJ Stock. He could be the MVP frontrunner in this league. Where would the Canadiens be without Carey Price? But Kari Lehtonen has been outstanding here in the first period, as we've seen a great first period so far. 21 shots between the two teams. We've seen a plethora of hits in this game, some real hard ones, lots of action around the nets, some great saves. Real solid first period altogether.
Klingberg just flips that puck in the air up to center ice. Bouncing around, Trouba handles it, puts it back up the board. Now near side, skating after it is Eakin, and he sidesteps that check from Sherrod. Lowry into the corner, final 10 seconds now. Here's Sherrod again. Turns it over at center ice, hopped over the stick of Roussel, and that will be it. 1 goal on the board in an action-packed opening 20 minutes here in Winnipeg. There's your goal scorer, Patrick Eaves, on the power play. Paul Maurice about to address his troops down a goal. Let's take you back to George Stroumboulopoulos.
Welcome back to MTS Center in Winnipeg. The Jets have to play from behind. They trail the Dallas Stars 1-0 to start the second period with Jets head coach Paul Maurice. Paul, what was your message to your team in the intermission?
Not for public consumption. The last 10 minutes. But Lowry, you're going. Better, but the first part was too nervous to be good for our team.
Fair enough. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Dave.
Few words, but I think we all got the message there. Here's the Budweiser Red Light scoreboard on another busy Saturday. Earlier today, you probably saw the Montreal Canadiens win in overtime. Max Pacioretty with a winner. Carey Price with now back-to-back shutouts. 7 goals by the Senators in their romp over Arizona. Detroit with a win as well. And this one is just starting to get interesting, I think, Gary.
I think so. Winnipeg Jets have been given their wake-up call. You can tell by the emotion of their coach. And you know, he's done a wonderful job here. Kevin Cheveldayoff, their general manager, said the biggest deal in the offseason that he did was inking Paul Maurice to a 4-year deal, and he's really helped this team find an identity. And when they don't play with that identity, they don't have much success.
Puck starts off at the Dallas end, and it's pushed up the boards out to center ice over the stick of Trouba. And here comes Egan over the line. Cody Egan snaps one in on Hutchinson, makes the save, and he was bumped on the way by after he had made the stop.
If you don't call a penalty here, because there was no reason for him to bump into the head of Hutchinson, and if you don't call this now, I think you're opening this up to just a lot of shenanigans that are going to happen. Dallas has been all around the net. They know Hutchinson's been a real big bright spot for the Winnipeg Jets, and they want to be in his grill as often as they can. This line, as I mentioned, has been a real thorn. This puck is stopped. There's nobody pushing Garbutt towards Hutchinson whatsoever as he actually leans in towards him to clip him. Watch the path he takes right there. That's out. That's a penalty. Call that. And if you don't call it, what happens now is Winnipeg now says, okay, you want to run into our goalie? Tit for tat. We're going to run through your goalie. And this line is known for being that kind of on the edge. If you don't look after it, I think you run the risk of this getting out of hand. And Hutchinson's been gold for them, Dave. I mean, his numbers are outstanding for a guy who played 3 games last year. I mean, even in the 3 games he played, they knew he was going to be something.
Last year played in the East Coast League and the American League, went all the way to the Calder Cup final against the Texas Stars. So you got the 2 NHL parent clubs in the AHL finalists from last year. There's a shot and a save by Lettinen into the corner for Klingberg. Their side is picked up by Jamie Benn. Benn goes into the middle for Seguin, who pokes it ahead to Eaves. He'll head to the front of the net while Eaves chases after it. Now Seguin in behind, couldn't contain. Benn stripped of the pocket. Little's going to head in now. Brian Little snaps a shot up high and easy pickings for Kari Lettinen.
Paul Maurice, during a commercial break, really led into his team about halfway through that first period, and he wasn't happy, and he wanted to let them know that you got to elevate your game here, guys. And you know what they did? They got a few really good scoring chances. They increased their physicality in the period. They started to really get on the body. They started to play that heavy game that he likes to see them play, and we'll see if they can continue that here in the second.
Winnipeg ranked 3rd in the NHL in hits coming into action tonight. Dallas, not so much, but lately they picked up their game as their confidence has risen after their slow start. They had a very good December as they try to climb out of that big hole that they dug themselves. Winnipeg back to work. That is Scheifele out of the corner, spins it back, waiting for it is Frolik. Frolik walks out, tries to jam a shot in there. Goes to get his own rebound and digs that free. Here's Scheifele, back to Sherratt. Sherratt with a shot, rebound. Perreault was there, got a stick up in the face, it appeared. And the puck goes into the corner. There's Perreault again, taking the feed from Frolik. Working against Daly. Back to the line, Sherratt, one-timer, they missed the near post. There's Trouba with a drive, knocked down for a leak, rebound, puck is loose and swept aside. Great start to the second period by Winnipeg. Icing against Dallas.
Well, this is the start you want if you're Paul Maurice. You're 2 minutes into this period and you've had these kind of chances. Frolik just couldn't get it up. I think he had to get it up in the air. He tried to jam it in. The top half might have been the better option. And then a wrist shot to the net. It gets through, and there you got a blue sweater all around it. As Maurice is just spending his time continuing to get his players amped up, continuing to get them up to the level where he feels like they need to be. Stay on top of it. Stay on top of the puck. Put pucks to the net. Hunt it down with a purpose.
Another puck battle won. Back to Enstrom. Low lane to shoot, so he banks it off the boards. Met by Blake Wheeler. Big Blake Wheeler back towards the net. Here's Byfuglien now. On his backhand, in for Little, who's given a bump, separated from the puck. Now Wheeler's on it. Wheeler back to Byfuglien. It's Winnipeg's puck right now. There's another loose puck. In front, Loud battling for it. Little's there as well, and it's still alive. Wheeler with a shot. Lettner, all kinds of saves. And Dallas finally gets it away from the net, but not out. You got some exhausted Stars legs out there right now. Jets trying to take advantage. Here's Wheeler. Backhander, and that's with the side. Lettner knocked out. They can't get it into the zone. Finally, Dallas gets it down, and this is going to be icing again. And you are going to see Lindy Ruff call a timeout here, I'm sure.
Jordie Benn could barely make it to the bench, or he's trying to get back off here maybe. What a round of saves by Kari Lehtinen. Nice little shovel to Byfuglien, and he gets the shot through again. Numbers at the net. Watch the bodies in front of this net as this puck was not frozen. Ladd tried to block out Lehtinen with his foot to keep the puck alive, and they continue to get on the puck, the Winnipeg Jets have. And at the end of it all, watch the push here on the goaltender. Into the net, as it's going to come back to the net, and they will drive him into the net. And as I mentioned, tit for tat. They let the one go on Hutchinson. They're going to let the one go on Lehtinen, as the Dallas Stars, Dave, as you mentioned, taking that timeout as they are exhausted.
No choice, really. No choice at all. And Paul Maurice, whatever he said to the boys, they've got the message loud and clear.
You'll see Lehtinen, and Little just gives him the shove right there. A little bit of a dramatic back into the net as Lehtinen tries to sell it, but nonetheless, as I said earlier, you might have wanted to make the call right there and stop all the shenanigans. As we look at Jim Nill, who is up in the box, and talked to him earlier today, and he was kind of mentioning out loud the numbers he felt like they had to go through in order to get in, and it would be tough numbers to project to get. He mentioned the slow start has really hurt them.
Here's Horkoff for the loose puck. Hemsky knocked off, and Dallas is able to get some fresh legs on the ice. Hemsky's shot knocked down. Jordie Benn was trying to bang away, but it's sent around the boards and met by Kane. Lowry chips it in. Trying to step around Benn. Those two go colliding in the boards. Here's Lowry out in front. Lehtinen makes the stop and hangs on.
Kelly Hrudey was talking before the game started how Lehtinen likes to get down low, and he tends to leave a lot of the upper half of the net. And we saw Frolik try to jam one in low, and right here, look again. The top half of the net is open. It is available, but you got to have the wherewithal as you walk out to go straight upstairs. And both Lowry and Frolik have tried to jam this puck through Lehtinen, which I think is playing more into his strengths. I think if you go straight upstairs, there is a good maybe foot sitting up top there that you maybe don't think is there that is.
Here's Byfuglien creeping in across, and Peluso misfired on a great feed from Byfuglien. What a chance for Anthony Peluso.
What a start to this period for the Winnipeg Jets. And it's more you feel, I don't know, David, you feel a desperation of them a little bit more. Their coach has shown desperation, and now they're showing it as Dustin Byfuglien, as he likes to do, is walk down that wall in his forehand, and as everybody is staring at Byfuglien, Peluso just finds himself open on the backside. He only played about 45 seconds in the first period, as we're going to see the first dust-up of this game.
And now Jim Slater has dropped the gloves. And with the jersey gone, I can't catch the number on the helmet of who he's fighting.
I would like to think it's garbage for running into Hutchinson.
Yeah, it is.
I just got to think that's what it is.
You're exactly right.
For every action, there is a reaction, and I think that's the action that you want to take when someone goes out of their way, as sure as mom and dad look on and give a clap to their son. And you know what? They're looking at the strap on the back of his jersey, as it's not supposed to come off unless it actually breaks. And he's trying to tell the linesman that the strap broke, and they'll have a look at it to make sure. You get extra penalties for that. And I think he had to know something was coming there.
29-year-old Ryan Garber, the former Winnipeg South Blue Junior A player, has to answer the bell for running into the Winnipeg Jet netminder, as Peluso still lamenting that chance that got away.
I mentioned the fourth line of Peluso and Slater. They didn't play much in the first period. It was basically a three-line game for Winnipeg, as as Slater and played about 1 minute and 47 seconds, 45 seconds for Anthony Peluso, and then Gagliardi with about 1.5 minutes. So these guys have not played a lot, but they made their presence known here early in the second period as Peluso just misses a wide open net and Slater addresses the situation with Garbutt running into their goaltender.
Shots are 6-1 Winnipeg in this second period. And they're heading back in there. Perreault trying to feed it up ahead for Scheifele, broken up by Cody Eakin. Eakin in the corner there, Scheifele and Klingberg now. Scheifele, battle ensues. They throw it dangerously out in front of their own net. It gets by everybody. Roussel in a foot race with Sherrod wins that one easily. Michael Frolik. Out of the corner comes Sherrod. You look at how this Jets season has gone and different surprises. Ben Sherrod has been one of those. Well, they're breaking the action. I want to tell you that tomorrow afternoon on Rogers Hometown Hockey, the Arizona Coyotes take on the Montreal Canadiens at the Bell Center. And Ron McLean hosts the pregame show live from our Sportsnet mobile studio on Dollard des Ormeaux, Quebec, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. on City.
Well, you mentioned the fact that they're a healthier team and Sherrod playing, and he should be. He's played some great hockey, but Adam Pardy, Paul Postma, Jay Harrison, all healthy scratches tonight. All guys who are part of the great start of this Winnipeg Jets through all those injuries.
Shot to save by Hutchinson, and that goes up in the air. He comes across and makes another stop on Seguin on the near side.
Good tracking of the puck by Hutchinson as Tyler Seguin gets one from the short side and then one on the wraparound. Face-offs were all in Winnipeg's favor, over 70% in the first period, and this one was a scramble draw that Dallas won. They don't only get the first crack at it, he locates the puck off a rebound and gets the second crack at it, and that's the kind of coverage in your end. You'll give up that first shot, but you've got to find a way to avoid giving up the second chance.
Third shot on net for Seguin tonight. He averages around 4 a game. He's second in the NHL in that department.
Well behind Ovechkin, I'm sure, who leads by a whole bunch by the time it's over.
Annually. Bufflin flips that one up in the air. Wheeler up there. There's the centering attempt looking for Little. That's broken up. Little remains with the puck, line up high with a shot, and another stop by Lennon with a man in behind him. Wheeler gave a little bit of a bump. Now Seguin. Dallas again hemmed. Very determined Jets team that has emerged from the dressing room to start this second period. 5 minutes into it. Still 1-0 on the goal by Patrick Eaves in the first period on the power play. Adam Lowry waits for the puck, gets it back to Wheeler towards the net. Ladd was there, comes to the far side now. Lowry back to Bufflin. Bufflin shoots, stopped by Lennon. Pucks are coming from everywhere, all angles down. Another drive, handled by Lennon, in behind the net. 18 shots so far for Winnipeg. 19 now. Thanks, Gals.
No worries, they're going up now 20. They're trying to keep up to them all as they're all bouncing towards Letton. He has been a real rock right now for Dallas. If not for him, this thing would certainly be different.
Now there's a chance for the Stars. Sevier with the puck, trying to center it out in front for Moen, and that was broken up. Now Moen tries to wrap it around. Hutchinson's got the paddle down, and finally they get a whistle at the side of the Winnipeg net.
If you're the Winnipeg Jets, you're out shooting your opponent right now 10-3. You're all over them. Don't take a chance like that for a hit. Stewart steps up to throw the hit. He's got absolutely no support, and not for the heroic play of Trouba with a great slide right there to make the block of that play coming over to Moen. It could really put a dagger in your heart when you're playing so well and all of a sudden you give up a 2-on-1 when you don't have to. You've got to show some patience in this game, and running up to throw a hit with no effect at the red line, leaving you with a 2-on-1, I don't think is what you want to do.
Spezza in to take the draw, and he wins it. Winnipeg won 70% of the draws in that first period after being 38% in their last game against Philly. On the boards, here's Jacob Trouba now. Trouba towards the net. Puck is loose, but it was in behind Thorburn. Didn't see it. Now he's got it. And that was stopped by Schlemko. Another drive. Schlemko with a block. Stewart puts that back into the corner. Evander Kane walks out with it, being watched by Schlemko. Cycles it back. Here is Frolik. Shively's stick was flipped up in the air. There's sticks all over the place now. Play is whistled down, and we can have a call here. We'll sort it out when we come back to Winnipeg. You're watching the Stars and the Jets on Hockey Night in Canada.
A crazy set of events as we'll look at the play in the Dallas end, as that's where it's been for most of this period. Watch the front of the net. Jordie Benn right in front of the net, number 24. Watch him harpoon the stick right out of Scheifele's hands. This thing was higher than the glass. Now follow Roussel. Here's the guy you got to watch for. Watch Scheifele's left hand. Here comes Roussel. Whack, right on the wrist. And that's what starts Scheifele heading towards Roussel. When the play ends, all the referees and linesmen start skating around. But when you've got 21 on the ice, you have got to keep your eye on him all the time. I don't have anything wrong with Jordie Benn, because shame on Scheifele for not holding on to his stick tight enough. I don't have a problem with that. That's just, hey, good defensive play by Jordie Benn. The whack on the wrist, that's a love tap, but
if it's a
gamesmanship.
If it's a downward motion and he's not holding onto it tight, you can get a slashing call.
That's different. But that's just a good lifting up the stick, and he wasn't holding onto it tight enough.
Here comes Wheeler with a head of steam down the left side. Stops up, looks for some help. Fans on the pass attempt. Well, the Jets maintain possession in the offensive zone. Here's Ladd now. Ladd out of the corner. Swirling around, goes back to the line for Enstrom. Across to Bufflin. Bufflin overskated the puck, and now Benn gets it away to Patrick Eaves, and he's got Seguin with him. He shoots, and a big stop by Hutchinson. Rebound goes to the sideboards. Little at the end of a shift, flips it in.
Most of the trouble that's happened to Winnipeg has not happened in the defensive zone coverage areas. Other than the Seguin double shot off the faceoff, most of their trouble's happening up ice, and it's just causing outnumbered attacks. Just like the Philly game, where they had a number of 2-on-1s. They've given up 3 in this game already.
Scheifele stripped to the puck at center ice. Alashevsky got off to a very slow start in his first season in Dallas. Picked it up a little bit of late. Here's Frolik now. Sherratt trying to make a move, and the quick stick by Spezza sends the puck back. And Trouba's got it behind his own net. Jacob Trouba puts it up to Matthew Perreault's going to step in. He'll flip it up and over the Dallas net. Scheifele hit hard there behind the net by Demers. Vernon Fiddler chips it in. Hutchinson out of his net, puts it up the boards. Travis Moll meets it there, and Trouba takes over. Sherratt off the boards. Perreault gets it away to Frolik, who drops it off for Mark Scheifele. Scheifele's wrist shot up high and handled easily by Lehtinen.
I mentioned Kari Lehtinen has had the Winnipeg Jets in his back pocket a little bit, 4-1-1. He's got some awesome numbers, and he just has a comfortability against the Winnipeg Jets. He's made a number of great saves, tracked the puck well, and remember the one right in the slot by Lowry. And if the Winnipeg Jets could find a way to climb back into this one, what a save right here on Eaves as a 2-on-1, the third one of the night. And good on Hutchinson. He drops down the butterfly. His body is straight up, shoulder square. Catches it off the left shoulder and out of harm's way.
Hutchinson has a win already this season against Dallas, December 9th. He rolls against on 28 shots. Here's Thorburn, tries to guide it towards the net. Let him go hands with it. Loose puck, and it's knocked just wide by Kane. Up and out to Bufflin. Waits for the zone to clear, and he hammers it in. Almost his entire second period so far has been down to this end. Here's Lowry, back to Kane. Kane trying to walk into the corner. Throws it across. That's met by Bufflin. Bufflin snaps his shot, then hit Lowry. Rebound stopped by Lehtinen. Here's Lowry again. He's that big frame to dig it free. Out front for his man Kane, and his shot goes up and over. Back on it. Eakins now. Knocked off the puck. Kane puts it out for Lowry. Following up his Wheeler. Kane with a drive in tight. Look at this pressure by the Jets. Here's Wheeler. Shoots, and he fired it wide. Comes around slowly to Buffalo and keeps it in there. Kane now. Bags it off the boards to Blake Wheeler. Jets completing line changes. Trouba with a one-timer. Didn't get over it. And look out as that one just dribbles past the near post. Andrew Ladd leans on Jordy Ben. Crowd loving this. Ladd shoots and that's deflected over the net. Here's Wheeler. Back to the line for Trouba. It's only a matter of time, isn't it? Trouba shoots and it's deflected just wide. Here's Ladd to Trouba. Over to Stewart. His shot whistles wide off the inboards. Net by Trouba again. Goes across to Stewart. Stewart to Ladd. Walks in. Shoots. Scores! It was coming. And they finally break through and tie the game.
I could ask the guys in the truck to take it back to the point where it really looked like they were owning them, but guys, we don't have all night here. This was such a long, solid shift by the #1 line of the Winnipeg Jets, it's not funny. Dallas has had trouble containing pucks in their zone and exiting their zone all season long. And tonight, in this second period, it has stepped up in front, and it's been their biggest problem as Alan Ladd, 1 minute and 28 seconds into this shift that was steadily in the Dallas Stars' end on a nice little give and go with Stewart high up in the slot, finds the back of the net on a nice wrist shot. We're tied at 1.
The captain Ladd, with his 18th of the season, ties Brian Little for the team lead, and we're all tied up. Penalty call in Winnipeg. This one is just heating up on Hockey Night in Canada. Thanks, George. Matthew Perreault is in the box for the Jets. Gary, here's why.
Well, he's trying to plead that he was a follow-through. On that goal swing, he comes through and he hits Goligoski. No doubt about it, okay? But he misses the puck and he hits him right in the higher end. There's your high stick. But he's claiming it's on a follow-through. And normally on a follow-through, there is no high stick. And I don't think he's going to win that one. That was a bit reckless.
Third power play attempt for the Stars. Winnipeg has been all over them here in this second period.
Well, the Stars need this power play if they can get some end zone time to slow down the Winnipeg Jets.
If nothing else, you're right. Just keep the puck down here on the fresh ice. Spezza, slap pass down low for Ben. Trying to feed it out front, looking for Eves. Found him, but he misfired. Picked off the boards by Seguin. Back and forth he goes, and that pass almost sent out, and now Seguin corrals it. Bank pass back to Klingberg. Don Klingberg to Ben. Ben snapshot, and it goes over the glove of Hutchinson. Spezza gets that puck to sit down. And throw it down low, back and forth with the captain, Ben. Across Seguin, one-timer, and he got a lot of it. And that is blocked right in front of Hutchinson.
For years, Spezza played that top right-hand half wall with the Ottawa Senators, was so good at it. But now you got Tyler Seguin there, so he's got to come from the other side, but no one saucers the puck as good as Jason Spezza.
Play broken up by Byfuglien. Byfuglien almost got it to Blake Wheeler. Wheeler, who already has 7 shots on net tonight. Just past the midway part of the game. Trevor Daley, some good work to get away from his check. Gets it up to Horcoff. Horcoff trying to turn the corner. Gets the shot away. And the save is made by Hutchinson. Rebound goes up and out of play. 25 seconds to go in the penalty to Perreault.
Good job by Daley to skate that out of the zone. And here we'll have a look at number 90, Jason Spezza here. He looks down low. Gets it down to Ben, gets it back, and watch this saucer through traffic that's going to land right at the feet of Tyler Seguin. And as I mentioned in the earlier part of the broadcast in the opening, that he's so good at getting pucks. Even if they're not in his wheelhouse, he'll reach back to get it out of his feet, Seguin. And a look at Jason Spezza and some of the damages he's done over his career.
2 goals and 6 assists in his last 9 games. And he's got the puck again. Up high, trying to battle and keep it in there, and he can't. Klingberg backs up. Klingberg's brother Carl, by the way, a member of the Jets organization. He's their top goal scorer right now in St. John's.
What a great set of hands and a couple of little in-tight backhand saucers at the top of the blue line during the power play.
Spezza banks it back to Klingberg. Team's back at even strength. Here's Seguin, takes a shot, and Hutchinson makes a save on the game's top sniper.
One of the things you have to be when you're that last guy on the blue line, like Klingberg is you got to have poise and you got to have patience. And what you got to do is make sure that when you get into trouble and you get boxed in on your backhand like this, you don't do something crazy with it. Good job by Klingberg. He lays the puck over the top of Slater and lands it right into an area where two of his players are, and you hope that the percentages will fall in your favor, and it did as Seguin picks it up and walks right on his forehand. To say about Hutchinson, he has been good when he's had to be in this game, and it's been a slow second period for him, but he's made a couple of really big saves.
The pit bull line back of the ice for Lindy Ruff. It has been a big part of the story, the narrative tonight. 7 minutes to go in the second period. Hutchinson out of his net, puts it up the board, gets met by Roussel. There's Garvin. Stripped of the puck by Adam Lowry. Lowry goes up the boards for Kane.
Tanner, behind you, bud.
And finally, that thing's dug free. Comes open for Ben Sherratt. Goes across to Bogosian. Little bang pass. And now Eakin is going to try to step in there. Muscles his way past Thorburn. Back to the line they go. Demers turns and shoots. Looking for the tip in front by Garvin. He was upended. And a penalty call coming up against Winnipeg. It's going to be a slash, as Garvin was battling for position, and he was taken out in front of the Winnipeg net.
Well, this is the line you have to battle against, and Bogosian, who has not had a shift until this last one, you remember he took that slashing penalty on Roussel. He has sat the whole second period until this shift, and he has just taken another penalty for slashing. So the coach wasn't happy to start with on the slash he took on Roussel. He gets another one right there. That may be the last shift for Zach Bogosian.
Well, that penalty by Matthew Perreault, accidental or not, it has really shifted momentum here in the last few minutes.
Because you got all this pressure on your opponent, and the one thing a power play does, even if you don't score, it releases some of the tension that you've been facing, and it gets your team to take a little deep breath, get a little exhale on the bench, and then you go out, spend some time in the offensive zone, you get your legs back underneath you.
Big face-off win. Klingberg gets it to Eaves. Back up top for a second. His drive. Loose puck. Ben. Stopped by Hutchinson. And he's got the rebound.
1 week left to nominate your community to be the next Kraft Hockeyville. Visit khv2015.ca by February 8th. Brought to you by Kraft Dinner.
Well, there's only been 7 shots for the Dallas Stars, but 3 great saves. The leg kick save, not only does he make the leg save, the left one, he tracks the rebound right to Jordy Ben as he's moving along. You need strong legs to drive yourself like that. And he makes the second one as well.
Right here. Still in.
Across to Seguin. He moves in, passes down low, and that sharp angled shot goes in behind the net. Off the stick of Ben. Here's Ben now. Up top, Klingberg shoots, and a redirected shot misses the net.
Good job by Slater. Slater got that stick in the lane, and it broke, and he lost it out of his hands, but what a nice play by Slater. Or sorry, Little. My mistake.
Up ahead now. And that drive goes off a stick of Dustin Byfuglien and out of play.
Jamie Benz had a couple of great chances here in this period, and he takes a pretty good knock on this power play, and he's kind of shaking off the cobwebs here as he comes around the back of the net, and he's got one guy all over him, and then he gets dumped down onto the ice. And I don't know if he hit his head when he fell, but he's got Trouba all over him and dumps right there. So he went off and pretty tired. I mean, these guys are trying to pour it on here and try to get back into this hockey game, and Michael Hutchinson just won't let them.
Trevor Daley controls the puck in the back end, takes the blast, scores! And the career season for Trevor Daley continues. He takes the shot, and the Dallas Stars retake the lead, 2-1.
And I know you can say all you want that penalties are a result of just you being a hard-working, hard team to play against, but these are 3 penalties in a row. You're not going to survive it. You've let Dallas off the mat. You lose the face-off. They get into their position. It goes back to the point. You got good screen by Horcoff. I'm not sure whether he touches it or not. I think he did. His reaction was, it looks like he touches it right there, because Hutchinson is following it in, and all of a sudden, I think it drops a bit. and 2 power play goals for the Dallas Stars and a lead. And a lead that I think you've given them the momentum back in the game because you clearly were all over them. And the 3 penalties have brought Dallas back to life.
They are giving the goal to Horcoff on the deflection in front. His 7th of the season. He had 1 goal in his last 11 games. Coming in tonight. Daly gets another point. Here's Scheifele now. His drive snared there by Lehtonen, who grabs it and hangs on, and now he's going to try to hang on to this 1-goal lead. You're watching Hockey Night Canada live from Winnipeg on City.
We always say on TV you can't have enough kids and dogs, so how about this for some gorgeous kids video? This is Tyler Seguin in the 2002 Brick Tournament, number 97, showing a burst of speed, roofing it. Wasn't quite as well known back then. The announcer ended up calling him Seguin. Only 8 years later, everyone knew his name as the 2nd overall pick in the NHL draft, and it's a pick he's justified with his performance this year. 28 goals, 3rd in the scoring race, and he might be leading were it not for the post, which, as we've mentioned, he's hit in each of the 4 games before this one, Dave.
And just 3 goals got in his last 16, and he's squeezing that stick a little tighter, but he seemed pretty relaxed this morning when we talked to him, and so he's not going to change a thing except shoot more. There's another drive from the near side by Truma. Knocked down as the Jets now find themselves once again trailing by 1. Cody Eakin on the sideboard, given a hit from behind by Thorburn. Eakin with a pass to Goligoski, up the boards, missed Roussel, and it's sent back in. Klingberg back to get it. He sees Kane coming hard.
That's 2 runs Kane has taken at Klingberg. Just letting him know, hey, I'm coming, kid. Maybe one of these times he'll just throw it without looking as opposed to taking a good look, and he'll turn over a puck.
Truma saw that hit from Goligoski coming in the last second as well. And this is icing against Dallas. Dallas Stars back-to-back games with 2 power play goals.
Well, we'll have a look at the Horcoff goal. We'll get a good look at the front net presence from Horcoff. Here's the one from the blue line as Daly gets lots of time to unload this thing, and as it's moving up and going towards the top end of the net, it's going to drop straight down on Hutchinson. And there you see the shaft of the stick of Horcoff clip that thing, and that's where you want to be on the power play. That guy in front of the net's so important, and the established position, and was able to track the puck right to the shaft and change the whole direction of it.
Horcoff now with 485 career points. This is 918th game tonight. Here's Blake Wheeler. Blake Wheeler's been firing shots tonight, skating miles. Up there the forecheck along with Ladd. He's got the lone goal for the Jets. Back to the line for Enstrom. Keeps that in. Round the boards, met by Wheeler, keeps it going. Here's Ladd. Cycles it back into the corner where Bufflin has stepped up. Wheeler. The Stars surround that puck and they get it away to Jamie Benn. Benn just flips that one in there and the Stars change. Andrew Ladd puts it to open ice. The only man there is Sevier for the Stars, and he takes a hit there from Scheifele. Now Smolin trying to cut in, stripped to the puck. Now the Jets are having a difficult time getting traction back down to the other end.
Well, the Dallas Stars have gotten their legs underneath them again. You're skating in sand, they feel like lead when you can't get out of your end for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get 6 minutes to get your breath back and your legs come back.
Truma's shot drifts up and out of play, and the faceoff will stay inside the Dallas blue line.
I mentioned how important it is to have front net presence like Horcoff, and here's someone else who knows that, Lindy Ruff. And he's playing against Billy Smith, and if you know Billy Smith, there's the butt end right to the face of Lindy Ruff as he goes by. And Lindy gets up in true fashion and right back at Billy Smith, and those were the days, weren't they? Yeah.
Different time.
Billy Smith was one bugger in that net, boy. When you wanted to stand in front of him, you were going to feel it.
Lindy Ruff got this Dallas team back into the playoffs last year after missing 5 consecutive seasons. They got an uphill battle to make it this year. Here's Eakin in behind the net. Banks it off the boards, waiting for it is Goligoski. He goes across. There's a drive, and that's tipped just over the Jet goal. Eakin now. Working against Stewart, puts it out in front, and Frolik just tries to reset of the back end. Stewart now. Oligoski meets it. Bounces around for Tyler Seguin. Quick snapshot. Up and over Hutchinson. And now it's the Jets who can't get out of their own end. Here's Patrick Eaves. One-time blast by Daly, and the glove save made by Michael Hutchinson. And with a break in the action, here's a look at the Budweiser red light scoreboard. Scores up. Oh, look at all these tight games here, gals. A lot of 1-0s up there, including the Leafs trying to snap a long losing streak in Philly late in the second.
Well, this one was 1-0 for the longest time, and then the Jets put on a clinic in the first half of this period. But credit to the Dallas Stars, they bent quite a bit but didn't break. And they've kind of climbed back into this. They got another power play goal and hold a 2-1 lead with 2 minutes to go here in the second.
Winnipeg has allowed 5 power play goals in its last 3 games. Sharp angle drive. Hutchinson ready for it to the far post.
Can't argue that one.
Yeah,
go and sit down.
Yep, that is going.
And you know what? You hit the nail on the head, Dave, and I said it earlier too, is when you're taking penalties but your penalty killing is efficient, you can tend to look the other way. But the amount of goals that are being scored and they're losing games, and these kind of penalties are starting to catch up to them. I mean, that's an unfortunate thing. It gets away on you a little bit as you see the puck as he goes to flip it. He just lets it get on the toe of the blade, and it goes to the right on him.
Easy call to make there. And adversity is hits over on this bench in a period that started off so well for the Jets.
Well, the back 10 of the first and the first 10 of the second was just all Jets. Kari Lehtonen has really held them at bay, and it's just the one goal they could muster with all the action they had around them. And Dallas has found a way, and it hasn't been pretty, but they found a way to have a lead in this game.
Long pass up to Seguin. Waits for the mates to get inside the blue line. Slap pass across to Spezza. Did not get all of it. And Hutchinson grabs it with the glove.
Well, we saw earlier on, we even highlighted it, Spezza saucering across to Seguin, and they're okay. They're interchangeable. If Seguin's up on the right side, Spezza will open up in the one-timer on the left side. There's the same slap pass over, except probably a little firmer. And as Spezza went to fire it, it kind of rolled up and it came to the net at a little slower pace. Hutchinson able to snag it out of the air.
Face-off win by the Stars. Tyler Seguin with it. Being watched by Lowry. Throws it back to Klingberg. Klingberg goes across. There's Spezza. Back up top to Klingberg. Near side for Seguin. His drive. Whoa, he just missed. Rebound. Scores. Hutchinson got a piece. But Jason Spezza got all the shot. And it went in off of Hutchinson. And it's 3-1 Dallas.
Sometimes you make those fancy saucer passes through the seams, and we saw Spezza and Seguin both have good chances off him, and then sometimes, guess what? It's just off a rebound to the net. A return pass and a shot by Seguin right here, and it's just hard to handle off the back wall. No one can really pick it up, and the bounce is very favorable and fortuitous to the Dallas Stars as it comes off the yellow dasher right to the stick of Spezza, and he just lets it rip. And although Hutchinson gets a piece of it, he can't get enough of it to not stop it from going into the back of the net.
Tough call by Bogosian. They score on that. A delay of game call against Dustin Byfuglien. They score on that. That is 3 power play goals tonight for the Dallas Stars. Team ranked 25th overall on the man advantage. 5 power play goals in the last 2 games, Gary.
Yeah, I mentioned that it's been a struggle all year long, and of late it's really picked up, and it's something that you wish they could have gotten going a lot earlier in the season, as they might have won some games and not been in this position that they're in right now.
Second time this season, the Jets have surrendered 3 power play goals in 1 game. Final minute now, the second period, which has really turned around. Here's Trouba. Goes across to Stewart. Stewart snapshot off the shins and back out to center. Up ahead, getting it is Little. Loose for Gagliardi. Goes back to Trouba. Jacob Trouba with a drive. Looking for a tip in front, didn't get it. Stewart puts it back in there. Karams all the way near side for Jacob Trouba. Trouba's going to step in there, throws it out in front, and that gets right through TJ Gagliardi. Wheeler running out of time. Going to pick up that loose puck, but time is going to expire on the Winnipeg Jets, who find themselves down a couple of goals now to these Dallas Stars, who still believe they can make a run for a playoff spot, while the Jets are trying to hang on to theirs. It's 3-1 after 2 periods on Hockey Night in Canada.
This period brought to you by the all-new 2015 Sonata with available forward collision warning from Hyundai.
Back at the MTS Center, where the Winnipeg Jets are trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. Down by 2 goals. Third period about to start. Here's your Budweiser Red Light scoreboard. Don't forget the second game of our CBC doubleheader has the Oilers and the Flames. Here is Scott Oake, who recently spoke with Lindy Ruff.
Lindy, with a 2-goal lead, what do you need from your team to bring this one home?
Well, I'd like to see a little stronger play defensively in our end. We've been trapped there. Probably had 3 or 4 shifts that end up being long shifts. I think our discipline is important. I think keep winning the special teams battle.
Quick thought on where you'd be tonight without Kari Lehtinen being in top form.
Well, I think what's really important is we've kept most of their chances down to the low percentage type. There's been a lot of in-type jamming chances. We've probably had the better rush chances, the 2-on-1s and odd-numbered rushes, but Kari hasn't made any mistakes, and we're going to need him to stand tall here in the third.
Thanks, Lindy.
You're welcome.
Well, he's been doing just that. A guy who was drafted by this organization, 2nd overall. The Atlanta Thrashers took him in 2002. Carlin has allowed 3 goals or more in 8 of his last 9 starts. And the other start, he got the hook. But tonight, he's been rock solid.
The other night in Ottawa, in the first 10 minutes, he had a 3-0 lead that evaporated, and he hung on there for the win as well.
Trouba puts it in there, and Lehtinen kicks that away. The Dallas Stars score a lot of goals. They also give up a lot of goals.
Lindy Ruff kind of hits the nail on the head as well when he says, they've had some chances, but, what we've had is some really good rushes, some 2-on-1s as the Winnipeg Jets are taking another penalty. As Eakin's Moms looks on as he's the recipient of a roughing call here in the corner, and I believe Stewart's going to go to the box. And here's a look at the penalties and the result of what happened after those penalties. You have the slash by Bogosian, the dump over the glass by Byfuglien. 3 power play goals for Dallas already, as you see Spezza put that into the back of the net. And then here, as we start this 3rd period, just an irresponsible penalty by Stewart. This is a line that gets under your skin. They come out there and they get on you quickly. So you've got your feelers up right away, and he comes in to throw a clean hit, and you elbow him in the head. You're going to the box, and it's a big kill for Winnipeg.
Dallas 3 for 5 tonight with a man advantage. 3 power play goals on 6 shots on their power plays. And that one hops over the stick of Klingberg, who has to hustle back. Slater's watching him. Winnipeg with 7 shorthanded goals, remember. That one sent out in front. And Frolik, and one of his shorthanders this year, has actually been a game winner. He's out on the ice. They gotta have this kill. Here's Spezza now. He's got one of the power play markers in the 2nd period. Met in the far side there by Patrick Eaves. He's surrounded. And the help arrives from Jamie Benn. Foley digs it free and swats that one down the ice.
They've got 7 shorthanded goals, and it'd be nice to get one, which would really get the crowd going and get some momentum back on the Winnipeg bench. But more than anything, you just want, like you said, get the kill. Get the kill, keep them off the board, and then go back to work. Lots of time left.
Dallas sets up shop. There is Seguin with a puck out of the corner. Throws it over here to Alex Hemsky. Slap pass down low. Seguin, wrist shot, sharp angle. Misses, but it's held by Hemsky. Good hustle to keep that puck in. Trouba around the boards. Klingberg can't pin it, and this one comes out to center ice. 40 seconds to go. The penalty to Stewart. There's Demers, who goes across to Hemsky. Had the pass in his skates and can't get it deep. So they'll reset this side for Jason Demers, who drops it off for Sean Horcoff. Horcoff, who also has a goal. Couldn't get that one in there, and it bounces all the way back to Trevor Daley. Demers is going to try again. Far side for Ryan Garbutt. Garbutt down. Barreling in there. Up behind the nets. They try to force it in front. Horcoff couldn't get it there, and he's getting the business for Byfuglien. Goligoski now chops that into the corner. Stewart steps out of the box. They saw him, but they couldn't get the pass to him. And this is icing against Winnipeg.
Good kill by the Winnipeg Jets. It has not been pretty, as their penalty killing has struggled mightily of late. And the one thing you don't want a combination of is taking a lot of penalties but not killing them very well. And you look at 40%. That is abysmal. And where it can go wrong for you is when you just get bad, silly penalties. And tonight, that's what they've done. They've taken some silly penalties, and that's why they're down this hockey game. Because they have worked hard. They have had stretches of this game where they've deserved better, and Ledman has been a real strong force for Dallas.
Antoine Roussel in his backhand trying to get it in there, but Ladd wouldn't allow him to do that, so he goes across the ice. Goligoski couldn't step around his man. Cody Eakin is in there against Sherratt. Sherratt, good work to get it away to Little, and he'll just flip this one down the ice. And you're right, the Dallas Stars power play has been able to take advantage of the penalty killing unit, scoring 3 power play goals in a game for the first time this season. Matthew Perreault. Here's Scheifele now at center. Stride for stride with him was Patrick Eaves, and now it's Daly. Quickly moves that up the boards. Enstrom sends it right back in there. Jacob Trouba meets at far point. His wrist shot hit Perreault in front, and it bounces out. A few of the Jets faithful here. Another sold-out MTS Center trying to get the place going again. This place was rocking with Andrew Ladd tied the game. And Matthew Perreault took a penalty, and the whole momentum of the entire night shifted.
Baseball swing, a bouncing puck, and clipped Goligoski in the upper shoulder head region. And
Sherratt with the shot, and that got into traffic, but did not reach the net. Crowd thought Dallas had too many men on the ice. No call.
Well, they did, and now they're trying to figure out if they have enough. Fiddler came over the boards, and he's like, should I be out here or not? But yeah, you should be. They only had 4 guys.
And Fiddler's got the puck. The Edmonton native sends it in. Hutchinson comes out. Got it away, but not all of it. Now it's in the corner for Sevier. Here's Fiddler. Fiddler goes back to the line for Klingberg. Klingberg's wrist shot. Scores. Finds its way through. Somehow, John Klingberg makes it 4-1 Dallas.
Well, he helped set up the game winner in Ottawa the other night on a really great individual play. He's had 2 assists tonight, and this is going to be a goal and 2 assists as he has been loading up the points. Such a poised player here. Good job by Fiddler getting in and getting the puck into the zone, and watch him. He's going to come up and work on regaining not just possession, but he skates it to a quiet zone where he can get the puck easily to Klingberg. And by not having to pass the puck through somebody, it's a good, smart play. Again, traffic in front. Seaver's right there causing hassle. You got Sherratt standing there. That's 2 bodies taking away some of the vision of Michael Hutchinson, and it's just a lazy shot to the net, and it finds its way in. And the Dallas Stars have a 4-1 lead. We'll have a look and see if anything hits it on the way in. And as it's floating in right there, it may go on a bit of a drop, but it's hard to tell if it actually hits it or the puck is on its way down anyway, because it wasn't a real hard shot.
Got a piece of Travis Moan stick on its way to the net, and it is 4-1 Dallas. Ryan Garber takes a hit, but gets it away, and Roussel's galloping down the right side. Antoine Roussel cuts in, and Trouba just buried him. Jacob Trouba with the best hit of the night. Roussel bounces right back up. Oh, he's feeling that one going to the bench. Here's Peluso now. He can't get anything going. Can't get his stick free. Ladd comes in to help out. Here's Bufflin now. Bufflin with a wrist shot kicked aside by Kari Lettman, who tracks it and catches it off of the glass.
The fans haven't had a lot to cheer about. When that hit by Jacob Trouba is the last thing they've had to since the goal by Ladd. And Roussel just cuts in, and as he cuts in, he's looking to see who he's going to give the puck to. But he doesn't see big number 8 coming the other way. And he just lays a good solid lick on him. Great body check by Jacob Trouba.
He had a great hit the other night in Philly as well. But he traded in for a goal right now. 14:42 to go in this third period.
Gonna need a hat trick.
Good pass up to Ben. Ben steps in over the line, sweeps it into the corner. Edstrom got his stick there. Now Wheeler. Byfuglien is all tangled up with Ben. Or Ben was tangled up with Byfuglien. I'm not sure. They're still in close quarters. Hutchinson out of his net. Does not get it out. Look out. Here's Seguin trying to dance in. Got a shot away. And they're not going to mess around anymore. He'll cover up.
Looks like there was Velcro holding them together. The fans are chanting for penalties here. They've had a couple of ones they thought should have been called as Byfuglien knocks him down, and then Ben kind of reaches around his legs and won't let him go. And Bufflin's like, hey, what's going on here? Then they get up, they have a little talk, and Ben's saying, hey, man, I was just trying to hold on there. I didn't want you moving. That's a lot of holding on, too. That's a big man.
Nothing comes of it. Shots are 30-28 in favor of Winnipeg.
With all the penalties that have gone towards Winnipeg, the fans are thinking, hey, one's got to fall in our favor here soon. There are too many men on the ice they thought should have been called, although he didn't touch the puck, so I don't see a call there. And that one there would have been a rather weak call on Jamie Benn. So I get their angst, but at the same time, you've got to earn the power plays, and you get that by playing in the offensive zone.
Ben Sherratt carries the puck up, leaves it for Scheifele. His shot, good kick save there by Lehtonen. Into the corner it goes for Leak. Puts it around the boards where it's going to be met by Sherratt. Makes a spin move, trying to get away from Fiddler into the corner. Scheifele with a quick drive. Sharp angled wrist shot, misses. High slot for Leak, fires, and that also misses the mark.
Hard, head up.
Daly off the boards, down the ice, and this is going to be icing against Dallas.
Kari Lehtonen has been a story for the Dallas Stars all night long. He's been so solid on the puck, making good save after good save when they've needed him the most. Like I said, they bent, but they didn't break. And here's a quick bit of release there by Scheifele. Good left leg save. And he clears the puck back towards the corner.
Lowry settles in to take the draw against Vernon Fiddler. And they control it. Kane with a drive, and he hits the post. Trouba with a blast, and that hits the body in front. Loose there for Lowry. He chips it just wide. Great flurry of opportunities there for the Jets off the face-off win. Now Kane spins. Puck is loose, and Sevier is there. He's flattened by Thorburn. Puck bouncing around in front. Kane's on it again. Off to Thorburn, to Kane in tight. And the pass going to handcuff him. Did not get a good shot. Here's Trouba. Jets really trying to make something happen now. They have to. Thorburn. Evander Kane in the corner. Stick handles his way out. Takes a shot. And that's blocked by Fiddler. Remember, tired Dallas legs on the ice. Puck is loose. Lowry can't find it. Comes to the line. Held there by Trouba. Stewart. Back to Jacob Trouba. His wrist shot. His body's in front as the Stars collapse all around Lehtonen. Desperate to get that puck out if they can. Here's Thorburn. Kane loose. Lowry can't find it. And it goes into the corner. Chris Thorburn now. Up high. Lowry shot. Within 15 seconds, that puck was in the Dallas zone. And finally, they send it down and get the icing call. And Lindy Ruff has already taken his time out in this exact situation.
Hutchinson's just watching this puck come down the ice, and he's saying, it's got to go for icing. Keep them on the ice. Keep them on the ice. It came off an icing call to start with, and 1 minute and 15 seconds, and what a rip right there by Kane as he catches the far post. And this is a tired group of Dallas players, and remember, their timeout's already been burnt. So drop the puck and let's roll. They're trying to get the right players back onto the ice here, as they're going to make somebody exit. And Schlemko's going to come back on. If you're going to waste any time at all, that's the best way to do it. Delay the change.
Maurice hates that too. He knows what to do it. Schlemko around the boards. Puck is loose. Enstrom's there. Makes sure with a stick to keep it in. And now we're going to fight as Little is all tangled up with Fiddler.
Good job by Fiddler.
Yeah.
I'm dead tired. I need a whistle. The best way to get one?
Let's fight.
Start a fight. Because they were exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. He says, I may lose this fight. But Vernon Fiddler said, I'm going to stop this thing right now.
He took losing that face-off rather personally, didn't he?
Did he ever?
You know?
Guys were standing there with their sticks on their heads. I mean, they just had no trying to clear their lungs to get some oxygen in there. Fiddler can't even stand up. He's so tired.
Well, a veteran play there to get the whistle one way or the other.
Dustin Byfuglien is right up on the glass here, and he's got his glove off. He just dropped one, and they're trying to get some order here. The linesmen are in between this, so nothing's going to happen. And what you don't want to do is put yourself in the penalty box here.
So the Dallas Stars will get the break they needed. We'll take a break. 11:43 to go in Winnipeg on Hockey Night in Canada.
The Jets in the playoffs at 60 points, 32 games to go, including this one. Going 500 would leave the Jets at 92 points, which may be enough in the West. But the schedule, look at this, 23 of the remaining 32, including this one in the West, and 14 in the Central Division. 4 against St. Louis, 2 each against Chicago and Nashville. Today, Sports Club Stats had the Jets at 80.1% chance of making the playoffs, but that's going to drop significantly if the Jets continue to display a lack of discipline like they have tonight. Dave.
Well, it's also, Dave and Scott, like the expectation level now is through the roof for them to make it. And if they don't, it's going to be such a huge disappointment, as Byfuglien is upset that Moan is kind of pulling onto his sweater, and he won't stop. And because he won't stop and listen to the look at the referee yelling directions, and because Byfuglien doesn't stop, I think at the end of the day, he just gives him a 10, sends him on his way. But, you know, Moan and Byfuglien are both kind of engaging here, and the referee seems to point at Byfuglien, so I'm not really quite sure why Byfuglien and Moan are both gone, or maybe just Byfuglien. I don't think Moan was asked to leave, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The benches are looking empty, but he's not in the box. But Byfuglien did make his way to the locker room, and it looks to be a power play for the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, Andrew Ladd is in the box. Little and Fiddler are in there for their part in the fight. That was, I guess, unofficially Little's second career fight. Now, we have got video that suggests Dustin Byfuglien may have, did he bite somebody? Uh-oh. Oh, he came close to biting. Travis Moan says he bit, but what I just saw there, it was a biting motion.
I'm not quite sure. The referee's helmet does get in the way. We lose it for a bit of time there. But there's no doubt that he makes a kind of a gesture like he's going to bite his hand because he won't let him go. And the referee points right at him, so this could get rather serious if that is indeed what gets written up, and I'm sure there'll be lots to be talked about that at the conclusion of this game.
So this is a 5-on-3 for the Dallas Stars. Extra twos going for the misconduct to Byfuglien, being served by Ladd, and Little gets an extra 2 as well. Seguin goes across, and there is Ben in the corner. Ben back to Seguin. Shot by Klingberg, scores. What a night John Klingberg is having. 4 points for the 22-year-old rookie. And this game has been blown wide open.
Well, the crowd is not going to like it. I'm sure they're not going to have the inside scoop of why these calls went down, but nonetheless, nice rotation. They move Klingberg back up to the top. He's going to walk himself back over in the one-time position, and then this is going to slide right over. He lets it rip, and Stewart's a screen. He catches it on the short side. 2 goals and 2 assists, and he catches a roller that goes off of Stewart a little bit. What a night for Klingberg, as he is all smiles. Paul Maurice trying to get the attention of the referee. I don't know if he's going to get it or not, but I'm sure whatever he's saying, it's not going to be positive, as another power play goal for the Dallas Stars.
And a timeout has been called out by the Winnipeg Jets, as Maurice just wants to try to settle the troops down here.
That is 15 goals in the last 3 games against the Winnipeg Jets. And a team that has really cleaned up their goals against and has really cleaned up their defensive play. And the one thing that got away on them tonight has been their discipline. Their discipline and their penalties is what really turned this game around. And
well, Gary, a reminder, after our game on City tonight, flip over to CBC for Game 2 of our doubleheader on Hockey Night in Canada from Calgary as the Flames host the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Romanuk, Mike Johnson, Cassie Campbell-Pascal are there to bring you all the action from the Battle of Alberta. This battle between Central Division rivals has gone south on the Winnipeg Jets against the Dallas team that has really not performed well at all against division rivals. John Klingberg, by the way, has 24 points. That is just 4 away from the rookie leader amongst defensemen, who currently is Aaron Ekblad.
well, another guy with a young man with some great poise, Ekblad. You look at the fact that Byfuglien's gone, Bogosian has not played very much at all. He was benched in the second, got one shift, took a penalty, they scored on it. I don't think I've seen him again. So right now, he's out killing again.
Power play still in effect for another 55 seconds as that first one was scored on the 5-on-3. Here is Hemsky in the corner, digs it out. Trying to walk out there, little spear to back. Here's Bogosian, as you mentioned, finally back out there. Horkov goes back to the line. There's Klingberg. Into the far corner, and Bogosian chops at that one, and that will get it outside the line. Up ahead for Seguin. Pulled down by Chuma. He goes off the glass, and that's knocked down by Jason Spezza. Slater runs into him. Seguin holds the line and gets a hold of that bouncing puck. Jason Spezza now. Slater causing all kinds of troubles, but here's Seguin. Over to Klingberg. Passes ahead of him, gets it back for Seguin. Down low he goes into the corner for Ben across, and there's the shot save made by Hutchinson on that good look there for Spezza.
You'd never know that the Dallas Stars power play was as anemic as it was the first 3 quarters of this season so far. The way it's been over the last 3 games, and especially tonight. I mean, the way they're moving the puck and supporting the puck and dropping the pucks behind them to people, it's like they've just been doing this all year long.
They throw it across over the stick there of Eakin, and back out to center ice. Back on January 15th in Dallas, the Stars had 7 power plays against the Jets, but the difference there was that Winnipeg was 7 for 7 on the penalty kill. Tonight they are 4 for 8, Dallas, on the power play.
Another big question that's going to be coming up as the deadline approaches.
Here's a chance for Garbutt. He's in and he whistles a wrist shot just wide.
Is what does GM Kevin Cheveldayoff do with this team? Does he make a deal? He's not known for making player-for-player deals, but they've got a lot of defensemen hanging around, and maybe they may have to make a deal moving closer.
Lennon, another stop, hangs on, and the Dallas Stars are large and in charge in Winnipeg tonight.
Dallas Stars general manager Jim Nill had a well-traveled career that included 3.5 years as a Winnipeg Jet. He's forever tied to the city as his daughter Jenna was born here. She's 27 now, leaving us to wonder where has the time gone. But as we often do, we draw this conclusion. Anyone who's anything in the business of hockey has lived in Winnipeg. Now back to Dave Randorf and Gary Galley, who have never lived here.
We spent a lot of time here.
Yes, we have.
And it's been a great building, that's for sure. And there's probably some more great nights still to come. But this one, not one of them for the Winnipeg Jets, who right now are staring at their 3rd straight loss. And to this point in this little slump, they've been outscored 15-6.
You know, the Garbutt bumping into Hutchinson and then the immediate response from Slater seemed to ignite the Winnipeg Jets, as well as during the TV timeout by Paul Maurice, and it looked like they really started to find their game. But just the penalties just were too many to overcome, and you can't keep going to the well, especially when you're trying to make it into the playoffs, and it really bit them tonight.
Offside of the line. He raised a good point. What does Kevin Cheveldayoff do?
You've got 3 legitimate NHL defensemen. I mean, I don't know they're top 4 guys, but I'm saying they're good supporting cast defensemen that are sitting in the stands not playing. And you've got Klitzum, who's out with an injury, so you've got 4. You know, do you maybe try to make a deal where you can bring in another forward, somebody that can help you up front? Because you've certainly got a real solid top 6, but I can understand how shy they might be in doing that with all the injuries. And they saw 4 guys go out at one time, and almost everyone in their top 6 has been out at some point to make a move with a defenseman in general.
Part of the problem with the Jets this season, too, has been they have not been able to take advantage of this great building. They are an excellent road team, one of the top road teams in the league.
You remember, they struggled on the road for so long as well. They were great at home, they couldn't win on the road. Then they started figuring out the road, and then the home place has been a tough spot for them.
They have won 3 in a row here at home, but they're not going to win this one unless something happens in a hurry. Down by 4 with just over 7 minutes to go. Wheeler out in front, and then hops over the stick of Lowry. Scores! Edstrom with a shot. May have been tipped in front, and the Jets get one back.
7:14 to go. A little bit of life in the building, and still a long way to go as Enstrom's going to rip this thing through traffic, and it's going to find its way above the glove hand of Kari Lehtonen. A dump in and a puck that gets on the dasher on Daly. Good forecheck as Wheeler comes in and nails him. Then he gets behind the net for the return. He throws the backhand out. It bounces off. And right there it goes by. And right there you see Lehtonen. Watch, you see if Wheeler interferes with the glove. Right there. Yeah, that's goalie interference, and that is a no goal. And they're going to miss this one as Blake Wheeler pushes on the glove of Lehtonen as he reaches out to catch it. And Lehtonen, and Ben's going to talk about this right now, and this is not a call that I don't think they can go to the cameras and look for. It's one they got to pick up live in the action. And something they're talking about changing is video replay and looking at these goalie interference penalties. Certainly if they did, that goal would be called back.
Kevin Pollock had the conversation a couple of times with Ben and said, I'm dropping this puck. That's the goal. Enstrom gets the goal. That is just his 2nd of the season. Wheeler drawing an assist, and it's 5-2. Andrew Ladd gets a helper as well. Here's Kane stepping it over the line, trying to step around Ben, but couldn't. 12:46 the time of that goal. Just under 7 minutes to go and a 3-goal deficit. Bogosian tipped in by Kane. Back to get him as Klingberg is running a 4-point night. 2 goals, 2 assists. Dallas working this up the board. Second goes to Klingberg. He's pressured hard by Perreault. Goes to the sideboards and digs it free. Here's Trouba now. Overskated the pocket. Roussel's got it, and now we got a call coming up against Dallas. High sticking. And the Jets are going on the power play.
Perreault at the stick that caught Goligoski up high and earlier in the game receives one now in the schnoz from Klingberg. You mentioned what a great game Klingberg's having here, and as he dumps this puck around, he turns around to get it, and as he goes to backhand, and he catches him with the shaft of the stick right up in the nose, and believe it, that'll make your eyes water as Perreault tries to shake it off, and they'll need him on this power play. 6 minutes and 17 seconds left. If you can strike on this, you'll start to get even more energy in this building. It's a long way to come, and I don't like your chances, but hey, you got a bit of a break on the last one. Maybe things are starting to turn.
And the Dallas Stars start by getting the puck out, but it went into their own bench, so that puck is going to come right back into their zone.
Full marks to Blake Wheeler, though. I mean, you got to try to score any way you can, and if you don't cheat, you're not trying hard enough. And he got a stick in the glove, and Kari Lehtonen's reaction right away. And as he goes to catch it, you can see him kind of reaching his glove, and he pushes it inside.
Oh boy.
And that's as much as goal interference as you're going to get. Hard to believe they didn't catch that.
Trouba off the face-off win, goes across. Here's Perreault in front for last. Great stop by Lehtonen. Oh, what a save that was. Perreault down low. Little with a drive into traffic, and it's knocked down and sent around the glass and out to center ice. Kari Lehtonen having a night. Ladd pulls that down. Into the corner, working back to the line for Trouba. Trouba towards the net. It's tipped wide off the stick of Andrew Ladd. Here's Wheeler. Brian Little digs it under the corner, turns back towards the net. Down low, they center it, and Goligoski hard off the boards, and this one's going to be skated away by Ryan Garbitz. Driving all the way down the ice. Rolls off one check, tried to get away from Trouba, and the Jets come away again. Evander Kane, here's Kane, backhander. And Jordy Ben got his stick in front of that shot. Under a minute to go in the power play. Frolik can't find it. It comes loose for Kane. Took a look back for Enstrom. Got it again. Back to Toby Enstrom. Round into the corner for Michael Frolik, being watched by Demers. Dallas keeping Winnipeg to the outside right now. Lettman aggressively out of his net, puts it up the boards, knocked down by Kane. And he sent it back to the line, and Enstrom wasn't there. Half a minute to go. Quick up to Scheifele. Frolik. Scheifele. Enstrom now. He'll go across. This is Zach Bogosian. His drive knocked down right in front by Moen and cleared.
Good job by Dallas, making sure they're fronting every single puck. Gary Lettman with a couple of beauty saves.
Huge stop. As the Jets are starting to believe they can maybe get that third goal, and then it's game on again.
I was wondering if you might see Maurice pull the goaltender and load up more players into that zone with 5 minutes to go in a power play. You need to score. It's an extra body on the puck, right?
And speaking of big bodies, remember Dustin Byfuglien is gone for the game.
And there'll be more to be heard on that for sure, as it looks like the referee gave him misconduct and thought he may have bitten Travis Moen. Or at least made the gesture to.
Shot blocked off the stick of Stewart. Sherrod hustles in there. Wheeler can't get it towards the net. The Dallas Stars are really shutting the door now with 3.5 to go. Here's Roussel. This guy's been involved right from the drop of the puck. His line started the game. Tees it up for Seguin. His drive to get out of it. Goes after the rebound. Look at Tyler Seguin. Does he want to score tonight or what?
He doesn't care what number in this game it is. He just wants to get one and get himself back on track as far as scoring is concerned. He's been all around the puck. He's had a number of shots tonight.
Rick Nash got another one tonight. He's up to 29. Here's Seguin with a snapper that's handled by Hutchinson, and he will hang on with exactly 3 minutes to go. Big D is up 5-2 on Hockey Night in Canada. Here's the Budweiser Red Light scoreboard. Gary Price with another shutout. The Leafs are shut out again. That's 9 straight losses, including 4 shutouts. This has been the lowest scoring month for the Leafs in franchise history. Ooh. Yeah. And elsewhere, you got some other scores. Don't forget the Oilers at the Flames coming up shortly on CBC, the back end of our Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader.
Especially the one thing you think the Leafs have is the ability to score some goals and put up some numbers, but the coaching change has not seemed to have the significance as you were hoping it was going to, as it's gotten from bad to worse.
Gary, on New Year's Eve, they were, on average, the highest scoring team in the NHL. #1. And somewhere that went away. Meantime, here the Jets have just 2 on the board. In front, and Lettman's got that. Just 2 goals on the board against a team that gives up over 3 a game.
A flyby into the slot by Matthew Perreault, and he redirects this, and Kerry Lettman, who's been in the zone tonight. This isn't much of a, he just stops this routinely. This is nothing for him. Good job. Skates on each post. He comes over, hugs the side, and there's the tip coming through from Perreault, and it goes off. Looks like the skate of Eves, who's standing in front, and just kind of trickles towards him, and the net will empty for the Winnipeg Jets as Michael Hutchinson heads to the bench with 2:35 to go, and the Winnipeg Jets down 3 goals. And that's why I thought with the power play, maybe you take your chance and you take him at that point. You know, it's 3 goals is a chore to start with. Why not take him and see if you can't get an extra body? There was a couple of pucks that Dallas got to on that power play that maybe they wouldn't have if they had an extra body on the ice.
Perreault back to Trouba. Off the inboards, Wheeler now. Into the corner for Little. Little changes places with Wheeler. There's the wrist shot from Parola. Finds its way through. And we're going to get a whistle here as Lettinen was knocked out.
Once again, it's Blake Wheeler who's in the kitchen of Kari Lettinen. Here you see Kane off to the side, and I believe they're going to both bump into him right there. As Wheeler comes out, he bumps into Lettinen, and I'm not sure it's either goalie interference or not. I don't know. They don't make the call, but they blow it down because Lettinen is unable to make a save. He's taken out of the play. The referee blew the whistle down thinking that he was interfered with, but not enough to give a penalty to Blake Wheeler.
In international rules, there is a crease infraction. You get a stoppage in play.
I'm not sure he's through into the crease or not, or just bumps into him.
Yeah.
And Lettinen was moving towards the top of the crease.
Gets control of the draw, moving around the boards. There's Jordy Penn. Met by Wheeler, who has 8 shots. 8 of the 39 shots from Blake Wheeler tonight. But just 2 goals to show for because Kari Lettinen has stood tall, and he makes another save right there. Hogging that far post. Where is it? Somewhere underneath Kari Lettinen. He's got it. 40 shots for the Jets.
Kane tries to shove this in behind Kari Lettinen and see if he can't bank it off him into the net, and doesn't have much success as Blake Wheeler, with the goalie pulled and the extra man, tries to get it across to Kane. There's Wheeler down low, and as he comes out, there's Kane, and as he pulls the second one, he tries to bank it in off the back of his leg. And it didn't make it back in.
Dallas came into the night just 4 points out of a wild card spot, which is currently held by the Calgary Flames, so they are definitely taking notice of this result here in Winnipeg tonight.
Well, 3 losses in a row is something to be concerned about when you're fighting to keep your playoff spot. There is no doubt about it. It's a very competitive Western Conference.
Trouba with a drive, just misses. Little the rebound, blocked right in front by Daly.
I think Winnipeg is a strong enough team to make the playoffs. I really like the way they played this year. But they have got to stop the bleeding here. This is, like I said, you can't afford to mount losses when people are chasing you.
They've been in playoff position since early November.
And it's been from all the good things that they've done. I mean, one of the biggest things I got to give them credit for is the ability to make up for some of the injuries they've had. They had a significant amount of injuries on the backside. They played through it. They never complained about it. They played some good hockey. They got some good goaltending. They've worked on their goals against. There's a lot of real good things going on, but these last 3 games since the break, it has not been pretty.
And tonight the talk will be about discipline and lack thereof, and what's been a story all season long, which is taking an awful lot of penalties. The shorthanded situations, it's not even close between Winnipeg and everybody else in the NHL.
It's one of those things where you've got to really take a hold of it and control it. If you want to go into the playoffs, you can't be taking penalties like that. And that's something that you've got to, as a team, you have to say, guys, even if we get to the playoffs, if we do this, we're going to really significantly take our chances of winning out of it. And for the Dallas Stars, I mean, back-to-back road wins after 2 losses. They had scored 3 goals in those 2 losses. They worked on getting more pucks to the net in practice. They scored 6 in Ottawa and 5 tonight. They don't win a lot of low-scoring games. I think they've won 2 games when they've scored 2 goals or less, and they've lost 14 when they've scored 2 goals or less. So this isn't a team winning by low-score margins like Montreal's been winning of late. This team scores goals to win games, and boy, they scored them in bunches the last 3.
So it is now 3 straight losses for the Winnipeg Jets, who will now head out onto the road to play the Calgary Flames on Monday and the Vancouver Canucks on Tuesday. A tough back-to-back. Very important games coming up there for all teams involved, but the Dallas Stars, they still believe they can get themselves right back in the hunt under the veteran leadership of that guy right there, Lindy Ruff.
They're a team that went through a lot last year, and it's been a real rough start for them, and that's what's put them in this position. And when you look at where they're sitting right now, 4 points back of that wild card spot and sitting right behind Calgary, that's the team they're looking to catch. And every 2 points they get, they put pressure on the teams in front of them, but they've got to leapfrog a few teams to get there, and that's not easy to do.
Here are your 3 stars for this game tonight at the MTS Center. And the number one star, why not? A career-high 4 points for the 22-year-old rookie from Sweden, a guy who came into the NHL around November 11th, and he has really been a nice addition for the Stars. Kari Lehtinen, the veteran netminder, gets star number 2. And Blake Wheeler, who was really buzzing around tonight, 8 shots, one off of his career high, albeit in the losing cause. 5-2 the final. Let's take it downstairs to Scott Oake.
Dave, thank you. With Jason Spezza, let's start with the power play, which essentially delivers victory tonight. What got it going?
Yeah, I think we've been better the last 2-3 weeks at it and worked at it a lot. And we've been talking about how when you get on these road games, you need the power play to win you one once in a while. And I thought Kari kept us in it to start the game, and then power play took over for us.
You're under pressure the rest of the way in a must-win situation almost every night. Was any part of your thinking tonight that, hey, if we can catch the Jets, we can make the playoffs?
Well, you just know that it's a must-win, because if we didn't win this game, then you're pretty far back from them. So we still got a lot of work to do, and we put ourselves in a position where we're going to win, a lot more than we lose. But it's a good start for us. We've been playing better hockey of late.
I want to say that your nose looks perfectly straight. How painful was it to get it back in that position in Montreal?
Wasn't the best feeling I've ever had, but Doc Mulder did a great job, and it could have been worse, I guess.
Your hockey makeup looks just fine.
Thanks. Yeah, that's part of being a hockey player, I guess.
Thanks, Jason. So the Dallas Stars win on 4 power play goals, which ties the NHL game high this season. It's a 5-2 final at MTS Centre in Winnipeg on Hockey Night in Canada.